Hi everybody and welcome back to a new vlog. I thought that I would vlog the next couple of days because I'm actually taking a few days off. I just finished writing my book, which is very exciting. So I finished the final edits on it. It's now gone to proofreading and then it will go to typesetting and then it will go to print, which is all a bit crazy. So I have decided to take a few days off because I worked over the weekend to get those final edits done and just make sure I was really happy with what I was handing in. So yesterday I had a really lovely, relaxing day off. I just knitted, I went out for lunch with my parents, I put my feet up. It was a really lovely day. And then today, as you see, I've gone for a nice frosty walk. We've got some lovely frosty weather at the moment, which I am enjoying despite obviously it flares up chronic pain a little bit. So that has been a bit of a struggle, but I am enjoying lovely frosty walks. So today is a Thursday, which means that it is sourdough making day. So I always bake a loaf of sourdough. Well, I don't actually bake it on Thursday. I make up a loaf of sourdough on Thursdays. So I always feed my starter on Wednesday evening. I always make up the dough on Thursday and I always bake on Friday morning. So I thought I would share that process with you guys. I am also as well going to be making up some soap. So this is something that I started doing last year, and I basically make up a big load of soap in a particular scent, and I've been experimenting with lots of different scents, and that's what we use around the house. So in both of the bathrooms, my husband and I have a block of soap each that we use, and then I think there are 3 sinks in the house that all have a block of soap. So we get through it actually fairly quickly. Apologies if you can hear Pearl, she's a bit grumpy today. So yes, that's what I'm going to be doing. I think I'm going to be doing an orange and clove, which is a new flavour. I got some essential oils off my sister-in-law for Christmas, which was great, so I can experiment with some new flavours. I think that's going to make a nice spiced orange scent, which will be a lovely sort of unisex scent that everybody can enjoy. And then later on, I will sit down and go through my knitting projects with you guys, and sort of let you know what's currently on the needles and what I'm knitting and what I'm making, and we can catch up on that. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this very slow, relaxed, wintry vlog. Hi guys, so welcome to my living room, welcome to my sofa. I thought I would go through my winter knitting project. So I spoke about this in my last vlog, my sort of plans for winter knitting and my plans for winter sewing. So I thought it might be nice to show you sort of where I've got up to with those, as we're about to go into February, aren't we? It's the last couple of days of January, so about to go into February. So I finished the sweater, which I was talking about in January. Now I don't want to talk about it too much or show you because I've got a special video coming out because I'm releasing the pattern. It's my first ever pattern, and I think this video is going to go out on Monday, and I think the pattern will be out by the end of that week, and there'll be a video on the Friday. So yeah, look out for that one. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. I was also knitting on a sock, I think I told you guys. So this is where I'm up to with the sock. This is what I call my church sock. So I always have like an easy stocking net stitch sock on the go or something along those lines, which I can take with me to church and sit and knit on during the sermon. So this is where we've got to. We've done the heel turn, which I actually managed to do whilst I was in church. I was quite surprised because I sort of thought I would do those bits at home and then I would you know, just do the like this bit and then the foot where it's just straight stocking net stitch. But it wasn't actually too hard because I've made this pattern so many times before. This is a West Yorkshire Spinners self-patterning yarn, which I had leftovers of because I made my mother-in-law a pair of socks in it last year. So I'm doing a contrast cuff and toe because I haven't got quite enough to make a whole pair of socks. But yeah, I'm really pleased with how this one is looking. I'm sort of hoping that it will mean that I can have, I really love that look with like a midi length dress and my ankle boots, and then the sort of sock showing out the top is such a cute look. So I'm hopeful that that's what will happen with these, is that I can have the purple bit below the boot and then the white just showing at the top. Could look quite cute, but we'll see if that works. So that's where I'm up to with that. And then I have, on the needles, I started the blanket, which I think I told you guys back in January, I really wanted to knit up the the Sweetshop blanket, sorry. Laura's got two patterns. She's got the Stella quilt blanket as well, which is a really beautiful blanket pattern. And then this one, which is the Sweetshop, which I just fell in love with it when I saw it. I just absolutely loved it. I'm sure you guys will have seen it. It's a really lovely design where it is, you sort of knit squares and you do short rows so that you get this lovely like patchwork triangular look, like a traditional quilt, sorry, words. So yes, by the way guys, I've got a new microphone, so I hope this is all okay. I'm trying to be quite careful not to like bash it or put my hair on it or cover it in the knitting, so this is all very new to me, so I hope the sound's okay. But yes, this is where I'm up to. I'm making this out of my 2023 Advent yarn. I got mini skeins from Adventures in Yarncraft. It was a Jane Eyre themed advent calendar, which I absolutely loved. And the colours are just stunning. I'm so pleased with this. And then the white that I've got, it's like an off-white. It's actually Rowan alpaca soft DK. I had a bunch of it in stash because I made a jumper years ago, one of my first ever jumpers I made in alpaca soft DK in this off-white shade, and I didn't get the fit right at all because I was very new to knitting, and so I frogged it a couple of years ago and the yarn's just basically sat in my stash, and it's just perfect for this because it's, you know, this is 100% merino. Actually, I'm not sure it is 100%, I think, because it might be a sock yarn, so I think it might have some nylon in it. But anyway, it's very lovely hand-dyed merino yarn, really soft. So to then pair that with an alpaca wool, it's going to be such a cozy blanket, which is exactly what I wanted, and it's such a lovely soft blanket. My husband keeps picking it up and rubbing it on his face, much to my dismay, because it's a lovely soft blanket. But yeah, I have done, as you can see, I've done the width, so I'm doing the adult lap size, which is 6 across and 8 long. So I'm basically working in like blocks of 4 at a time. So I did 3 blocks of 4, and now I'll do another 3 blocks of 4, and then I might take a break from it because I'll be like halfway through the blanket. I will have done all the colours in my Advent yarn by that point. And then I might come back to it, I might make something else like a palette cleanser and then come back to it, because I'm going to be using all of the colours twice, because you use 10 grams of yarn per like triangle, so each coloured bit is about 10 grams. So when you get an advent calendar, you get 20 grams mini skein every single day for 24 days. So Laura designed it in this way so that you could use your advent calendar, so it was all done very cleverly. So it will eventually be a 48 square blanket. I hope that makes sense. I don't want to say too much about it because obviously it's a really lovely pattern and you should buy it. But I think all of that stuff is on the information page on Ravelry, so I'm not giving anything away. But yes, that is where I'm up to with my knitting. So that has just been lovely, to be honest, because I've been quite tired finishing this book. It was quite a big undertaking, so it has been really, really lovely to just chill out and just have some really chilled knitting and just work on a blanket, just garter stitch. You know, it's got a bit of interest because of the way that you do the short rows and like the way you attach the different blocks and squares and choosing what colours go where and things like that, but it's just very simple and easy, and it's exactly what I need right now. As I say, I don't know if I'll sit and knit because it'll probably take me the whole of February to sit and knit the entire blanket, and I think I might get a bit fed up of knitting squares. So I think it might be good to do 24, take a break, and then do another 24. My husband bought me some yarn for our anniversary, which I will show you guys soon when I'm ready to cast that project on. But basically it's enough to do like a slip over, which is something I really wanted. So that might be a nice little one in between 24 blocks. I also need to find something to keep this in because it is very soon going to get too big to go in my lovely Mood knitting bag. So that's that. And then I thought I would show you one other crafting project that I have. So you guys will know if you watch my Vlogmas that I got really into a Christmas embroidery that I was kindly gifted by Kado, who sponsored the channel last year. I really enjoyed doing that, and I definitely want to do more embroidery. But one of my big things this year is to use up things that I already have, reading books I already own, using fabrics and yarns I already have, trying to use patterns I already have, within reason. Obviously, if I need to buy a bit of fabric to use another piece of fabric, or I need to buy a skein of yarn to use up another skein of yarn, or etc., buy a pattern to use that yarn or whatever, you know, that's fine. But I am trying as much as possible to use what I already have and have a sort of low consumption year and use up the stash. So before I buy any embroidery projects, I've actually already got a few in my stash. I've already got a few like in my crafting supply. I've got a little mini embroidery that I got from Molly Makes years and years ago when I used to subscribe to Molly Makes, and I also have an embroidery kit, another one gifted to me by Kado. But something that I'd had for ages is this cross stitch pattern, which, let me get the picture out so you guys can see. So this is a Jemima Puddle Duck Beatrix Potter cross stitch kit, which I bought back in 2019, like so long ago. That's like 6 years ago. When we went on holiday to the Lake District. It's a place we really love to go on holiday to. My husband and I actually had our honeymoon in the Lake District. And I wanted to pick up cross stitch again because as a child, I was a really big cross stitcher. That was like my main craft for quite a while. I used to do quite a lot of cross stitch, and to be honest, one of the main reasons I stopped was because it was just so expensive. It was so expensive to buy the kits, which is a real shame because I did really enjoy doing it. And I just thought, you know what, I quite fancy doing that again. So I bought this Jemima Puddle Duck cross stitch and I started working on it, but it is extremely fine. Anybody who's done cross stitch or embroidery will know, like when you work with one single thread of the embroidery floss, which I'd always been used to using at least two. So it's very fine, it's very delicate. It's quite difficult to see as well because it's very pale pastel colours. So you'll see what I've done. So I did this sort of over 2019, 2020, and then it went away because I just sort of got a bit fed up with it and I struggled with it because I couldn't really see what I was doing. I went wrong in a few places, so the whole like half of the pattern is like missing a whole row through the middle and stuff, and I just got frustrated. But I have made the decision that I really want to try and finish this year because there's not a huge amount left to do, and I'm going to try and just like fix the messy bits, maybe just fill them in with a colour that works or whatever. I'll get to those when I get to them. I'm just gonna for now follow the pattern and see if I can actually finish it because, as I say, 2025 is the year of using up things that I already have in my crafting stash, trying to finish projects, trying to finish stuff, and it's been really satisfying to be doing that. Like this blanket is using up yarn. The white yarn's been in my stash since like 2021, since I frogged it, and the coloured yarn has been in my stash since the end of 2023 when I got my advent calendar. So using it up and making it into useful things has been great, and I started doing that a bit last year. You'll know if you watch my Vlogmas, I knitted a pair of mittens and a beret and things just out of stuff that I had in stash. So it's been feeling really good. So I want to get that with other crafting projects. So this is something that I am going to be working on over the next few months probably, because it's so fine and because it's so pale. I basically try to do like maybe an hour a day in the daylight, so like next to the window so that I can really see what I'm doing. So yes, it's going to be a slow sort of cross stitch project, but I'm hoping I can, yeah, really get somewhere with it. I have been doing, you know, the last few weeks I've been doing like about an hour a day, and I have actually managed to do quite a lot in that time. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to do a bit of cross stitch. So yeah, my soap is all done, and that is going to be setting. So it takes 48 hours to set. So I'll put that to one side to set for a few days, somewhere cool where it can just sit and be undisturbed. My sourdough is just in the process of having its stretch and folds done. So that's what I'm doing next. I do them every 25 minutes. And I do that about 6 times, so over the next sort of 3 hours, and then it will go away to like bulk ferment in the airing cupboard, and then I will shape it and pop it in the fridge overnight. So yeah, I'm sure you'll see some of that process. I sort of shape it at night before I go to bed, and then wake up the first thing the next morning, I get it out and I bake it in the oven. So I'm sure I'll be sharing all of that with you. I don't know if I'm going to sit down and chat to you guys again. So I hope you really enjoyed this vlog. If you did, make sure to like, subscribe, and yeah, I will speak to you guys next time.